Greetings. This is the first video of my new YouTube channel for restoring a 1968 Chevrolet Chevelle. I've always wanted to restore a vehicle, and I've been looking at the market for a long time, and I finally got my chance. My biggest question today is, can it be done? There's a lot of questions I have. The car's in rough shape. It's spent some time in the field. I've got some pictures coming and some videos. We'll walk around it. But the big question is, can it be done? So before I get too far down the road, I want to talk for a minute about the project. You know, I've been looking at cars for a while, and of course, everybody loves Chevelles. And I've looked at a bunch of different cars. I wanted a 1973 Chevy Malibu because I had a four-door in high school, and I always thought it'd be fun to have a two-door and, you know, make my first car a cool car. But I also had a chance to buy a Chevelle with cowl induction when I was in high school. Of course, my parents were like, no, we're not letting you buy a stupid car like that. And I've wanted one ever since. So I have my opportunity now. And it's funny, when I went to look at this car, I initially said, no, I'm not gonna. There's too much to do. There's too much work. It's too far gone, blah, blah, blah. And then I was gonna go to another car and look at a 280ZX, and it was totally clean. And I felt kind of almost like a sense of loss, like, oh, well, I won't get to do that. So when the guy texted me back after I walked away and offered to throw in an engine and a transmission and some other parts, because it's a roller right now, the car has nothing in it, I said, well, maybe that is something I want to do. So I made him an offer, and I put it on a trailer. One of the big things that went into this decision is, I can already tell you there's a website, 396 something, I'll link it in the comments, that has you can buy an entire Chevelle there. You can buy almost the whole car. Whereas I was looking for basic parts for a 280 and I couldn't find them. I mean, I wanted to build a 280 because I wanted something smaller, but it just can't be done. So looking at the parts, looking at the costs, I'm really pleased to say that I'm going to go with the Chevelle, because when I go out there and say, well, this needs to be replaced and this needs to be replaced, I'll be able to order the parts online, or at least I hope that I can order the parts online. Another thing I'm going to do with this project is I am going to keep track of costs, and I am going to do as much of this work as I can myself. So there'll be a lot of talk about that. I don't have all the tools right now, and I'm working with a friend of mine to have some of the tools I need, and then other tools I'll buy as we go, and I'll discuss that. I'd like to talk about the tools and how I think about the tools, and so I'm just going to kind of use this as my own diary to document. I'm not really looking for views or likes, but I'm going to walk through each of the problems I come across. I guess I should just mention really quickly a little bit about my experience. So I've been kind of working on cars. I have a bunch of different experience that's relevant. I worked at a gas station as a kid and learned all the basics, changing belts, and I did a timing belt, and I've done serious mechanical work. You know, I did points and distributors back in the olden days, because I'm that old. And then I was a mechanic in the Air Force for a long time. I worked on airplanes. I have, you know, digital theory, and I have some electronics experience. So I feel pretty rounded. My son and I did some welding in our garage, and then I did some welding with my buddy. But I don't have a lot of body experience, so that's something that I'm going to work on. And I watched too many episodes of Wheeler Dealers. I'm going to call them out right now as kind of an inspiration for this, because if you watch the Wheeler Dealers videos, you get the idea that you can do anything. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you how long the stuff takes to do. We're going to get into the details. We're going to see what it really costs and how long it really takes. So this is just an initial video of me getting used to the idea of making a YouTube video and kind of talking about it. So we've looked at the car and kind of taken a real superficial look. There's going to be some greater detailed looks here coming up. The next steps for me are, I'm going to discuss the vision of what I have in mind and where I want to go with this car for a minute, because there's a lot of options. And one of the things you learn from watching the car shows is, you know, they start out with a drawing, they start out with a picture, they have an idea of where they're going. So I'm going to talk about my vision and where I want to go with this car. I'm going to talk, and then I'm going to do an inventory. I'm going to look at exactly what I have and kind of get the specific, down to the nuts and bolts details of what is there, what does the car have on it, what parts did I get with it, and what parts do I think I need. And then we're going to talk about kind of the very next steps. You know, what am I going to do next, and what do I think is kind of urgent to get going on to start this project out right. And the bottom line is I need to get the paint that's on it off the car. I know that that's the first mechanical step, because that tells me what the body work that I have to do is, and that is the biggest thing. So hopefully I've got this video right and it's not too dull. I'm going to try and keep them short, but I do want to talk a little bit, because again, this works as my diary a little bit, as my journey of going from here to hopefully somewhere awesome. We'll see. And if you're watching, thanks for watching.